Nobody knows trouble I see. Nobody knows. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. My name is Durant Cersei, singer, songwriter, producer, performer, actor, if you're nasty. And welcome to the house of the unofficial and sometimes, as you will see here, the unprofessional fragrance and skincare guru. Baby, after you get your life from this video, go on in the description box. After you have liked, comment, subscribe, get your life one of them links. It will take you right to all the music that I have created. Okay, today is going to be a different video. I'm not really going to talk about fragrance, but if you want to know as far as fragrance, I'm really not doing that much today. It's been like one of those like days, and so this is all I'm wearing today, and that's Finery I Am Must. This is all I could muster up to, wear today. So I want to come over here and talk to you or whoever is listening about the fact that I was supposed to start a job, a full-time job this week. Obviously, well, I can't say obviously, but I didn't start the job this week. I didn't. For people that don't know, my mother was diagnosed with vascular dementia. I had a job for the state. I think in 2022, I was working for Texas Department of Transportation and HR department. I ended up getting a position with the city of Grand Prairie, Texas, shortly after in 2022. And in the middle of that time, my mother was diagnosed. I didn't know the severity of the diagnosis. It was, I just knew that I was thrown into this because I lived in Fort Worth. She lives in White Settlement. And, my sister and brother were like, okay, you live closest, so it's best. It just makes more sense for you. I'm the youngest of three. And so I didn't know the severity of the illness. And I was going to work, and just about every day, she was trying to leave the house. I could see in the camera, but Grand Prairie to Fort Worth is about 30 minutes. So there'd be days I would come from work and she's going like far away, just walking in the dead heat, just trying to get away. I had so many days of that. And so finally I was just like, I can't do this because I live so far, and I would hate, to come home and, she's gone and then something happens and it takes me too long to get home. All to say that since then, I have taken on contractor HR jobs, a few here, and a lot of people may be like, so how are you taking care of yourself, if you're not really holding on to a steady job? Well, I do a thing called Pay for Your Stay. It's like a platform where you are taught how to do focus groups. So I've done a lot of focus groups, and that could make me anywhere from $15 to $3,000 a month. And then I do delivery services as well to kind of supplement those times that I have been, unemployed. And the reason I've been unemployed is because during that time, and after I quit my job, it was all about taking time to figure out what's going on with this illness, because at this time also she was aggressive. So she was throwing lamps, breaking them on my back. She punches me. She was punching me. She was trying to stab me with knives. It was very crazy. And her doctor that she had prior to me stepping in, he was not treating the illness, and I was getting frustrated, of course, because all these things were happening that was stressing me out. So I got her a new PCP, and the new PCP got her on some good medication, and then she diagnosed her with a mental disorder. They couldn't call it a name because she's not in the state to really express how she's feeling. So I can't say she's bipolar or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so she got her some good medication, and she's also been helping me maneuver to figure out how to make all this work, and also trying to get me help in the house. So you notice I had help in the house, and that was after 2 years of getting denied, trying to make it happen. It wasn't happening because I was running into brick walls, and it was just talking even to professionals. They was like, I just don't know what to do. You're in a hard place, blah, blah, blah. So, yes. Anyways, fast forward, and we're at a point where I finally got help. And then I was just comfortable to start working again, kind of. But what happened was I was approved for a few hours, like 200 some hours from September to November. So I was like, good, I can use those hours, you know, just get me a job, work full time, and then by the time I use all these hours, you know, to get, you know, have assistance in the house while I'm gone, I could, you know, work hard, work enough to where I can afford to pay out of pocket someplace, you know, like adult daycare or something while I'm gone. So I hooked up with this agency through my mother's insurance, and you know they were sending somebody here, there, everywhere. It was a different person. I never saw one person twice. This place was called, I think it's called a Better Home Solution. There was a little black lady that owns it, and I'm gonna dig in her a little later. So okay, so the first day, you know, I was supposed to get help was the day that I had an interview for the city of Fort Worth. So I was about to start a job with the city of Fort Worth, in HR. And so I thought I had all my ducks in a row because we had help, or even though it was sporadic, I was getting different people coming in. I was like, okay, well, they're going to get somebody. I told the lady, hey, I'm going to work full time. I got this job. I need to work full time. So we need to get somebody in here permanently, you know, until my time runs out in November. And so she was like, okay. So I'm about to start the job. I done did everything. I done took a lot of tests. They done checked my credit. They done dug up in it because honestly and truthfully, I was going to work for the police department. I know. I know. I'm doing all of this. The weird thing just talking about this is all of this I'm just doing, and it's not my passion. It's not my dream. And I'm just like, I was just so sad about it. We'll talk about it. And so I got the job, and I have a start date, and I was like, we got, you know, this time, it was about 2 or so weeks, maybe 3, you know, I was like, we got time to start, so I need somebody permanent. So fast forward to the Friday before I was supposed to start my job. So the lady came in, I was like, okay, so this is a new lady, never seen her, even though, you know, been having people come over. And so I was like, okay, cool. I like her, so maybe I can get her to come. And then when she got here, after she done her work, we sat down and talked, and I was telling her what was going on. She was like, oh, I'm not going to be your permanent person. Ha! I'm just going to be, I can come here Wednesday or Friday. You know, I was like, no. They said they were sending somebody, you know, permanently, you know, today to, you know, let me meet them so I'll be comfortable to start on Monday. And she was like, no, basically anyways, the lady at this facility, she sends a text message. I didn't know this. So she showed me, she was like, she just sent a text message saying, hey, this person needs help at this address. Is anybody available? So you're just sending mass text messages, which is fine. But we're supposed to be at the point of you already having me a permanent person. So, of course, I'm freaking out. This is the end of the day. Can't call anybody. So I have freaked out all last weekend. So in my videos I was talking about how I was just going through. So I was like crying and distraught, like, oh no, because I have so many things I want to do, and I was just like, I just need to do this, even though it's not something I really want to do. It's just like, man, I felt like I needed it. And so I was just going through it, and, you know, I cried maybe like 4 or 5 times all weekend. And so on the Sunday, right before I was supposed to start my job, the lady from the agency, and I'm going to get into her text messages here because that lady right there, she tried me. And so she texted me, well, she called me at first, and I was on the phone actually with one of my good friends, and I was just pouring my heart out and crying about it because he's like one of my steady, all my friends are really steady, but he's the therapist, so, you know, I called on him. He's the therapist, the licensed therapist, so I called him. But he doesn't therapy me, he was just being a friend. And so I was telling him, hey, I don't know what I'm going to do because even with family, I just can't, there's no help for me. And it's just, I was mad, I was frustrated, I was sad, I wanted to beat somebody, you know, all those things. So I wanted to continue the conversation with my friend because he was really, you know, pouring into me at that time when I needed, because I was just not in the right headspace. And so the lady was trying to, you know, interrupt that. And I'm like, you know, I need to holler at you later because I'm talking to my friend right now. And that's just how I work. Yeah, baby, I love my friends. It's not like we may talk all the time, but if we're engulfed in a conversation or something that I feel is important, I'm not getting off the phone with them for you. Because that's how my mindset works. because it's like my friends and people that I know love me get the best of me. You can wait. Anyways, so she starts to text me. Okay, let me read you these text messages. What's your name, Lamisha, lady? My ancestors got you, baby. And so I was at this point. She's texting me. I'm crying on the phone with my friend. I'm crying, and he's trying to talk me off the ledge, whatever, because I was just like, I'm not going to be able to start my job. I don't know what I'm going to do. And by this time, I emailed, the job, and I was like, can you please reschedule my orientation date? And of course, it's the weekend, because the lady told me she wasn't going to be there at the end of the day on Friday. And so this is Sunday. And I'm freaking out. And then she called me, she texted me Sunday. She's like, oh, well, I hope all is well. What times will you need placed on the schedule for this week? Now, okay, let me read what I said. Hello. I was supposed to start my job tomorrow. I'm not comfortable with a person I've never met being there while I'm not home. I may have to decline the job. So I guess we can have somebody come in the afternoon. And, Lord, I was writing this and crying at the same time. And so she's like, oh, do you want her the same time all week? We can make her a primary caregiver if it works. It's like, you don't understand. I am going to a job for 9 hours, and that's not even counting going there and who knows what kind of traffic to get here. And you think I'm going to be comfortable and be like, okay, for you to have somebody in my home for those hours with my mama and my dogs? What? Okay, anyways. So I was like, the goal was to have somebody I was comfortable with before starting my new job. I'll get back to you later, because I'm still talking to my friend. I'm like, girl, I was telling my friend, I don't want to deal with her right now. So she continues. A little later on, she said, yes, I understand. And the young lady we sent Friday was not supposed to be on schedule, but the young lady that was supposed to come ended up having a family emergency. So just so that you know that anytime the person that is placed on your shift can have an emergency, and if you need help with your mom, we will have to send someone else to help her. It's good to have a backup plan. Now, mind you, I didn't say this. This is the most communication she's given me since we started this, because she has taken days to respond to me. All the things that I'm wondering why is there not one single person? She's telling me all these people are not reliable. Every time they come one day for a few hours and then don't show up the next day. And this has been happening consistently. But she has not been, actually communicating with me. And so I was like, I totally understand. But I don't understand how this whole process was meant to give me a break. I haven't felt that I could work or even go out, so the benefits have been little to non-existent for me. I have been more stressed than ever. It's no disrespect. I'm just a bit overwhelmed. So, because the people have been coming in, they've been staying like 1 hour, 2 hours. And then when they're here, where can I get this? Where can I find this? And it's like, I thought this was supposed to help me and make me feel comfortable enough to go out and hang out with my friends. I have to work when you're here. And what is the benefit? And then on top of it, they're not showing up some days. Like, it's not benefiting me. Okay, so and we got a story here too. So she responds, okay, so would you like for me to call your case manager and call your mom's case manager and have her put you with another company? Because I have tried. That's how I read it. She a black lady, and no disrespect to, just like, she was giving me attitude on the phone. Like, I was like, girl. Because my thing is with black people, it's like I really try to give the utmost respect. But it was like, yes, you got your own. Yes, I love this. And then I try to be more respectful, and you give me all this. So first 2 weeks, on 2 occasions, no one opened the door for the caregiver. Then on a few occasions, you canceled the shift. Then we had no call, no show on our end. Yes, you did. After the dog bit happens, when my company had to pay the caregiver's doctor's bill and medication. Now I'll talk about that in a sec. Your shift is not consistent, and the caregiver wants consistency. They have families to take care of. And I responded, oh, so this is all my fault. And with the dog, yes. I've had about 6 ladies in here. 6 ladies. And there was one lady that she came in. The dogs have been fine, and I've put, the bigger dog outside, so not him. So there was one lady. She came in. She was one of the last ones that came in. She was just very like, and I told them before, I need somebody who is not scared of dogs. I can put my dogs up, but I prefer not to. So I want you to have somebody who's not scared of dogs, because the thing is, my dogs are not like rough dogs, but they are loud. And so if you don't like dogs, then that's going to irritate you and you're going to tee me off. And it's, we're not going to have a good day. And so this lady, she was coming in like scared, because the other caregivers, the dogs were fine. Like the caregivers walked by, the dogs weren't even just, after a little while, the dogs weren't even barking. The dogs were like ignoring them. So it was fine. And so the big dog is still outside. And so she just walks in like, giving me all this. I was like, I told them that we have dogs. You're not scared. And it was a chihuahua. I have a chihuahua. So the chihuahua was just barking. And so I turned my head, and then all of a sudden she's like, ouch! In the kitchen. She's like, ouch! And I was like, okay, what happened? What happened? Because I'm in here with them. She's like, he bit me. And I was like, okay. Where did he bite you? She's like, he bit me here. And so she pulled up her pants leg, and there was a scratch like this. But she said bit. I was like, that looked like a scratch. So she went and, put on some sanitizer and rubbed the sanitizer on where the dog bit her. I don't know why she did that, but okay. So she continued her day, and then next thing you know, she calls her boss, which is understandable, and said, hey, I got bit by the dog. Great. I didn't see it, even though I was in the same room. And my dog usually doesn't just bite people. Only time my dog really bites people is when, he feels like he's threatened, or if he feels like you're trying to take his food. And so I didn't see it, and so she went home, whatever. She took pictures, and then I talked to the lady, the caregiver that I'm talking to here, Miss Jackson. If you're nasty, that's your name, Miss Mika Jackson. I talked to her, and I was very concerned. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just giving all the sorries, and she's just like, well, she took pictures and sent it to me. I really didn't see it. And then next thing you know, the next day she was like, okay, well, the dog did bite her. You have to see it in person. I was like, well, I saw it in person, and it doesn't look like a bite, but okay, if she says she's bit, then fine. She was like, so we had to take her to a care now, whatever, and get her shot and all those things. So I was like, okay. And so, she said the caregiver can't come back, because I really liked the lady, because she stayed the whole time. I really liked her, and we're going to have to give her 3 days off. I didn't realize this was an issue. But okay, anyways. And so I was like, so this is all my fault. And she said, I never said it was anyone's fault, sir. I'm just stating the problem that have occurred. So I responded, yeah, call the case manager and mention to her, on top of all you've texted me, that you all have had several no shows after a caregiver was only here once. You mentioned in capital letters they weren't reliable when they didn't show up again, except the one who got bit. And also, a few of them mentioned you were all short-staffed, so thanks for trying while barely communicating with me. And so she's pinning all of this. Okay, there was no call, no show. There was no call, no show for me because I had an interview that day, and they didn't tell me for real, somebody's going to be here at this time on this day. Nobody told me. So she showed up. I was like, okay, I didn't know you were coming. I was already at the thing. So, I'm sorry. I'll be there in a little bit when I'm done. So that was considered no call, no show. And then I did cancel a few of them because we had doctor's appointments. I had to take her to doctor's appointment. I got to take gastroenterologists, PCPs, heart doctors, neurologists. I have things to do. So anyway, and so she responded, you have had several caregivers that did not show up to the shift. No show twice. Now, if you cancel shifts that not on us and we had to stop your schedule and we waited for you because of the dog bite. Now this is all an issue. At first it was like, I don't see a dog bite in the pictures, to I saw the dog bite. You have to see it in person, even though you saw it in person. I see it. It's to all now. The dog bite is an issue, even though it's like, don't worry about it. No, she signed a form that she wasn't gonna sue you. It's fine. Now it's not fine. It's not that we're not trying to send anyone to help you, but we cannot put them in danger to be bitten. And I told her, when we had to talk, like, okay, I'll make sure the dog is up from here on out. But now, we're going to put the dogs in danger. We're going to put somebody in danger by coming to the house. Okay. Everything is documented in the system. And yes, sir, I will send her a full update on everything. I have communicated with you several times. We have called you when you did not answer the door for the caregivers, no response. Lies, all lies. I will cancel the shift for tomorrow and let the case manager know to get you another agency. I just heard in her voice. I just want to get crazy. Thank you, and I hope you get the help you need. And I'm in the system, and the no-show was once because we had another young lady to come out. Sorry for the wrong information. Okay. So I responded. I said, okay, great, and I want the contact to your boss. She responds, I am the boss. Now, if you would like to speak to one of my partners, I can give you that information. Lo and behold, she had a boss, and I spoke to that boss, and that boss did nothing. Girl, I had a message on here I was about to read. I was about to read her, but I didn't send it. I'm a good Christian man. I did not send it. So all to say, the next day was Monday, and I didn't get a response from my director. The director called me later that evening. I was already busy. I called the director after sending the email saying, hey, it's going to be a delay for me. I want you to please delay my start date. And so she called me later that day, totally not acknowledging my email or anything, and said, hey, we'll look forward to seeing you on Tuesday, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, this is going on Tuesday, so this was after the new hire orientation had already taken place. And after I've sent my email and everything, because I didn't go to new hire orientation because there was no one to watch my mother. And so the next day I called her, and then the HR department had called me. And they were like, hey, you were supposed to be here on this day. And I was like, yes. I sent an email and I've called several times and tried to see if I can, reschedule my start date. And he was like, well, that's up to your director's discretion, because it's HR, but they have like HR for this here, because it's the city. You're going to have the HR for this, the HR for that. Yeah. Anyways. So, yeah. So, I was like, hey, can you ask her, like, can she extend or reschedule my date? And he was like, I'll just let her know and we'll give you a call back. And all this time she's not responding to my calls. I can't leave a message because something's going on with the messaging system, because it's saying I can't leave a message. And then the next day, on Wednesday, I get a call from the same guy from HR, and he was like, unfortunately, she said that she will not be able to reschedule your start date. He gave me all this fluff, and I was like, sir, it is totally fine. It's totally fine. Because by this time, I done cried myself out. I have done everything. Done had the anger issues come out. I've had a friendship end. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, too. And I was just, I don't know, but for some reason, after, they, who was the guy? What was the guy? I forgot what his name was. I wasn't going to say his name, but I forgot what, the talent acquisition guy, who I've never met, which is weird. And so I was kind of upset about the fact that, how is it that you do it? I've been communicating with you this whole time, and you can't respond to my messages. You can't call me back See, this is the thing that pisses me off about human beings. Y'all are so bossed up and all this, but you can't communicate. You send somebody else to communicate what you could have said to me. After I done tried to call you, I've sent emails. You can't. So I'm like, maybe I dodged a bullet, because y'all don't even know how to communicate. Like, I'm trying to reach out to you. Then it's like, I'm going to send my minion to somebody I've never talked to. Somebody in talent acquisition I've never spoken to. You send him to give me the bad news because you not woman enough, man enough, whatever it is you call yourself, to tell me, that, hey, I'm not going to reschedule for you, which is fine, because I just be telling people I have been dogged out by my own mama verbally, my family verbally. I have been an actor. I've been in musical theater, professional theater for 20 years. So I was told, oh, you too short, you too this, you look too gay, you look that. I've been told it. So it's like, I can handle you at 43 years old telling me I am not going to be able to reschedule your orientation. I would have been like, fine, just like I told him. He was trying to fluff it up, and if you want to see the, if you see the position in the future, I was like, sir, I am totally fine with it. I'm totally fine. And for some reason, again, like I said, I felt a sense of relief. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I felt relieved after all of that. Even though I was just kind of like, oh my God, I need this job. I gotta get, all that. So anyways, with this lady at the place, the little place that the agency that's supposed to be, and then another thing, my case manager, my mother's case manager still hasn't reached out to me. It's like, nobody knows how to communicate. Y'all all the bosses and all this, but y'all don't know how to communicate. Like, you a boss. You a boss. But you texting me instead of waiting till I call you back after I finish talking to my friend. You want to text me. Because y'all ain't woman and man enough to talk. It's like, I'm just so pissed off at all of this. I'm pissed. And so, in the midst of this, I talked to my friend, confided in another friend, about, hey, I was just telling her the story, and I will admit that I really try my best. When it comes to my friends, I try not to trauma dump but I do have moments where I'm just sad and I just want to talk to my friend. I go to therapy every week. And I will admit I have done some trauma dumping on some of my friends, and I have to apologize about that. And so with this friend, like my friend that I was talking to, I felt like I was trauma dumped, even though I was, having a concern about, I don't have any help from my mom and all this. I just feel like when I talk about that stuff with my friends, I'm trauma dumping, because I'm just like, everybody has their own thing, and I don't want to add to, make, upset people more. So I find myself like apologizing to my friends. I'm like, I'm sorry that, I'm trauma dumping and throwing all this on you. I don't mean to. It's like, Durant, I'm your friend, it's not trauma. But I be feeling like it is when I just tell my friends what's wrong with me. And so I have a friend, ex-friend. I did a song with her called No Pressure that I wrote, and then Confounded Love that I wrote and produced. And so I was telling her the story about the caregiver lady. And, after I'm telling the story, like I'm telling you, it's just like, well, Durant, you do sometimes have an attitude. This is the response I get. Well, Durant, you do sometimes have an attitude. You be having an attitude with me. And my thing was just like, okay, what does that friend have to do with this situation? And then it turned into a big argument. Then she brought up something that happened last time we fell out. And the thing about, falling out with my friends, I have a friend that I've been friends with for 30 years. I have another friend I've been friends with for 29 years. I have another friend I've been friends with over 15 years. And I have the friend that I was talking to, the therapist. We've been friends since 2008. All my other friends, I don't have these issues. And you can go to all 4 or 5 of those good friends that I've had for a long periodically time. There's never been one where they can tell you honestly that Durant, in the midst of a knockdown, drag out argument, Durant has ever called them out of their name. And Durant never plays on their emotions. And that's one thing that I don't like that this person did. What you won't do, and a lot of men have done it that I've been dating. And it's like, that's a deal breaker for me. When I'm sitting here expressing how I feel or my emotions or how you made me feel when you do this, and you tell me, oh, you need therapy, or maybe you got too much unhealed trauma. Don't tell me how I feel. Don't tell me what I got unhealed. I got a therapist that I talk to every week. She ain't saying I'm bipolar. She ain't saying I need medication. So ain't no regular somebody who ain't got the license gonna tell me nothing. And so people like, and this is what this, you just mad because she did this here. You got all this going on with your mom, and you just mad about everything now, so you trying to take it out on me. How am I taking out on you when we're not finna talk about that nobody? So needless to say, I felt like it was one of those, moments, friends just disagreeing, have a little, because she hung up the phone on me, which that right there should have been a deal breaker right there. I'm not playing with no friendships and relationships no more. I ain't playing. You play with my emotions, baby. You got to go, and it ain't no let's make up. There's no apologizing to calling me out of my name. There's no apologizing to playing on my emotions. You won't do it, and if you do it, we will not talk again. We ain't going back. Because what I don't do when I get mad at somebody, oh, you need to see a therapist. Maybe you need medication. No. I care about my friends. I have been drunk. I have been very, very mad at my friends. The one I've been friends with for 29 years, we done had some knockdown, drag out arguments. Never have I sat in her face and said, you bitch, you mother. I never. I never said, "Ooh, you need therapy. You might need to go to therapy. What's wrong with you? You ain't healed. You ain't healed. Don't." Why do y'all do that? Why do y'all want to get punched in your face? That's all it is. That's all it is. And so it's like, oh, you taking out your anger. First of all, I'm telling you my story. You are bringing something to me, talking about how I did something to you last time, trying to compare it to this situation, which was very unwarranted. And so I thought it was like a little spat, between friends, because she hung up in my face like a little immature. That's another thing. People just don't know how to communicate. I'm sitting here. It wasn't even an argument for me. She argued. I talk like this. What does this have to do? Explain to me how I've talked crazy to you. Please explain to me. You can't explain it. I'm not a good friend. I didn't say you were a good friend. This is me. And this is because we're on FaceTime. You just say, I'm sick of everybody. What does that have to do with me? Because you're trying to argue. I'm trying to get where you coming from. But she couldn't handle that, so she hung up the phone. And I just thought, we're going to cool off and you want to talk about that. Girl done blocked me on everything. So needless to say, it's like times like these are when people just fall off. The little ancillary, the little nobodies, they just fall off. And she's just a nobody in my life story. So it's like, you blocked me. You, played on my emotions. I never want to talk to you again. Bye. I don't care. So anyways, I'm back at square one. I'm back at square one. I don't know what I'm going to do. And to be serious, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I just know with people, I am going to be, and it's not a thing of, I think I'm bad, hard, or trying to do something crazy. I just feel like I need to start being more direct with people. And if that comes off as rude, oh well. Because people have played with me. And I have to, and all this, I'm just like, it just kind of seeps in my brain. I'm trying to work on that. It's like, I let people get away with stuff because I'm always like, ooh, I was always taught, let the Lord fight your battle. Let the Lord fight your battle. No, I'm finna fight my battles now. Because I'm finna just tell, any disrespect will not be tolerated. It won't be tolerated. And I will gladly take an ass whooping. Because I'm going to say something if I get disrespected from here on out. It's just how it is. But anyways, people, I'm learning a lesson. I think there's a lesson to be learned, especially when it comes to dealing with people. I've learned with, during this whole ordeal, I am not going to tolerate no communication, like non-communication with people. I need you to tell me how you feel. If you can't tell me, then we just don't need to talk. We don't need to do business, whatever the case may be. That's what I've learned that part. But I just need to learn what I am going to do with my life, because I don't know. I just know that I'm creative, but I don't know where to start as far as, I make music and do all that, but I don't know what I'm going to do. That's all I can really say. I just don't know what I'm going to do now. I don't have really freedom to do much of anything. I don't have freedom to really date. I don't have freedom to, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what that story was about, but I just told it, and I hope you all will stay on the ride with me, and let's figure out what I'm gonna do together. Let's figure out what we're gonna do together, because I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I stay up so late at night just trying to think of what is going to be the thing, because I don't know. Sometimes I'm mad at myself because I went to college to get a degree, and it's like I feel like I wasted 4 years of my life because I had in my mind that getting a degree was going to make me, I was going to find me a good man, Savannah, because I had a degree. I could say, hey, I got a degree. That's all I wanted to do. It's like, I'm going to date somebody in a, at a new level. I wasn't going to, I could date somebody who was a news anchor or whatever, because it's like, I'm a news anchor. Well, I have a degree in public administration. That was my mindset, and it's so stupid. And I feel like I just wasted time. I could have been doing something, pursuing like my dream, which was always music. But when it comes to fragrances and stuff, this has been something that, during this whole time, I've always loved fragrances, but fragrances has always been that escapism for me. And I know it has always also been kind of a detriment too, because I get like a little high from purchasing fragrances because, you know, I would have a moment where I felt sad and it's like, ooh, I'm gonna purchase a new fragrance, and that just gave me like, you know, it was like a line for me. It was like one of those. And so, but unlike me, it never was like, ooh, I hate that I bought that. I was like, I mean, I'm glad, even though I ain't got it like that. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to kind of get that out. I don't know what was the moral of that story, but I just wanted to say I am jobless again. It didn't go through, and I don't have an agency for my mother to get in home care right now, and so it just felt like a lot of things just fell apart this past week, and I was very frustrated. But you know what? I kind of low key feel better than I did last week. I don't know. Shout out to my friend. I knew he was praying for me. He prayed for me on the phone because baby, he can tell some stuff, and I know he won't. He can tell like some real shit about me, which ain't really nothing spectacular. But if anybody gonna tell a story or a lie, I mean, if anybody gonna tell a story and it's believable, it'll be him or my friend of 30 years who ain't on social media. 29 years. All of my friends, honestly. So I just lost a little piece of the story, and it's crazy. During one of the hard times that I've had this year, is when it all ended. It's when it typically ends. So, anyways, I'll holler at y'all a little later. This probably is just too long, just talking too long about a lot of who knows what. I'll holler at you a little later on with a happier story. Bye.